Prime Minister Modi will be the first Indian Prime Minister to visit Ukraine in 3 decades. And this one is over 2 years or 910 days after Russia started a special military operation which led to a war with Ukraine. Narendra Modi has been invited by the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelenskyy. This visit is significant in more ways than one. First, because India and Russia have had a close diplomatic relationship for over 75 years, and Russia is India's largest defense supplier, with 36% of India's total defense imports coming from Russia. Ever since the war began, India has exercised strategic autonomy with regard to the war. While India has called for an end to the war and a peaceful resolution through diplomacy, the government has not sided with any Western nation in condemning Russia's actions or participating in any sanctions or boycott of Russian oil or Russian President Vladimir Putin. This visit to Ukraine can be seen as a balancing act by the Prime Minister. His visit to Ukraine comes a month after he visited Russia. Ukrainian President Zelenskyy had then heavily condemned Narendra Modi's visit to Russia and said it was a huge blow to peace efforts to see Prime Minister Modi, the leader of the world's largest democracy, hugging the world's most bloody criminal, unquote. PM Modi's visit to Russia took place at a time when there was a big assault on Ukrainian cities by Russian forces, and there was also a deadly strike on a children's hospital. In the last 4 years, Prime Minister Modi and Zelenskyy have spoken on the phone several times. Most recently, they met on the sidelines of the G7 summit in Italy. Both sides have not disclosed the full agenda for this visit. However, Prime Minister Modi is expected to have a one-on-one bilateral with President Zelenskyy in Kyiv and also delegation-level talks. They will discuss economic and business linkages, agriculture, infrastructure, health, education, defense, culture, and people-to-people ties. India will maintain that we have a substantive and independent engagement with both Russia and Ukraine. PM is likely to emphasize the importance of dialogue and how lasting peace can only be brought about by a negotiated settlement acceptable to both Russia and Ukraine. Now, why is the India-Ukraine relationship important? Well, there were 18,000 Indian students studying in Ukraine before the war began, and they were evacuated by the Indian government. India's bilateral trade turnover was roughly $3 billion before the war began. India imports sunflower oil, inorganic chemicals, iron and steel, plastics and chemicals from Ukraine. India is the third largest exporter of pharma products to Ukraine and also Ukraine's fifth largest export destination overall. A number of Indian companies like Ranbaxy, Dr. Reddy's and Sun Group have had operations in Ukraine. India has offered financial support and assistance for reconstruction, and there could be announcements on that front. One thing is for certain, and that is the meeting between PM Modi and President Zelenskyy in Kyiv will be closely watched for its outcomes and statements on Russia and the possible roadmap for peace.
Thank you for watching CNBC TV 18 and do follow us on all our social media platforms for news, updates and more.